spectacular. Now we're putting these words in it deliberately because we're wanting to feel for your vibration in it. Do you feel that this is a spectacular time?
Well, yes. Yeah.
So you believe that there's plenty of stuff in the pipeline that are ideas and theories that haven't come to fruition, maybe because they don't have the funding yet, or whatever.
Yes. Yes.
So do you believe that there are technologies that are understood by mathematicians and scientists and engineers that are in the process of coming to fruition?
Yes.
Do you believe that you, as an observer of some things, can personally recognize things of greater potential and things of lesser potential?
Yes.
And when you witness something of great potential, even if you're not involved in it, do you get a sort of rush from the idea of it?
I do.
So you like motion forward, and you like technology, and you like improvements, and you like evolution, and you like expansion, and you believe in it, and you know this planet is full of it. So you stand poised in a perfect position to dovetail into some of that. Now, what do you believe is required in order to jump in at some point to something like that that's moving along? What do you think is required for anybody to get on board with that?
Knowing the right people.
We thought that's what you thought. No, it's all right.
Yeah.
Knowing the right people, being at the right place at the right time, getting the end, that's what most humans think, because you're used to dealing out here only in manifestations. But we're talking about an energy stream that hasn't really manifested. We're talking about things that are in the process of becoming. So it isn't knowing the right people, because there's no people in there yet. There's no people in there yet. It's aligning with what you already know. I know that technology abounds, and I know that good ideas are there, and I know that I can be in the receiving mode of hatching a good idea.
That's what I want to own, and so far I haven't.
But the reason that you haven't is because you're doing what so many people do. You've fast forwarded, not really, but you've tried to fast forward into the manifestation, and you can't get on. It's like the merry-go-round in the playground that is spinning so fast, and you want to get on, but every time you try, you just get knocked off into the bushes because it's going too fast, because you weren't in on the beginning of the momentum, and you're not up to speed with whatever it is. Does that make sense to you? So how do you get up to speed? By knowing the right person? No. You get up to speed by having conversations with yourself like this, by acknowledging all things are possible. If anybody can do it, I certainly can be one of those. This energy that flows into this time and space is available to all of us. It's an equal opportunity for all of us. I can utilize the power and the energy of the vortex as well as anyone else can. I've just got to become a cooperative component to my own vortex, you see. So what do you think calls you to your vortex? We'll tell you there are a number of things. You want to be of value, you want to be valued, you want to be prosperous, you want to be part of what offers prosperity to others. There's so much that you've lived all of the days of your life that have contributed to this. It's big, you see. So it doesn't surprise us that you've been drawn to an idea of something, because all of it is a vibrational match to where you are, a vibrational match to who you are in your vortex, but it is not a vibrational match to who you're being out here as a physical being. And that's because you're wanting to turn it into a physical creation before you've been ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready. It's such a delicious thing. We want to describe this in a way, since you've all come along with us in this conversation, that it works like this. So life gives you access to a new desire, and as we said earlier, you don't really believe it, but it's there and it's calling you, and your ability to be ready to hear it is really everything that we talk about in these gatherings. You're talking yourself off the ledge. You're wanting to talk yourself into vibrational alignment. So we've been describing to you for a while that this vortex exists, and for a while we said to you, all you have to do is get into the vortex, and you can tell when you're there because you feel good by thinking thoughts that don't contradict the vortex. Then you can get into the vortex. And you came along with us to a certain point, and then we began hearing you say, through your thoughts and sometimes through your words, I want to be in there because I like the idea of what's in there, but I don't know how to get in. And so then we began describing that your vortex has a frequency because it is occupied by your inner being and by source energy and by all of your desires, and there's no resistance in there. So the vibrational frequency of your vortex is a very high frequency. So if you're worried about something, you're not a high frequency, you can't get in. If you're angry about something, you're not that frequency, you can't get in. You've got to raise your frequency to be in the vicinity of the frequency of this before you can begin to receive any of the ideas, before this vibration can turn to your thoughts and to your things. So we began describing this receptive mode. So here's the energy of your vortex, where all these riches that you want, this gold mine is, and all of the value to humanity that you've ever wanted to be, it's in this vibrational frequency. And so you have conversations with us and with yourself, but it's hard because you've got beliefs that you've been dragging around for a while. Beliefs like, why would I be the one that deserves? And if it's really real, won't everybody try to get on? And then won't it all get watered down? And then won't it not go anywhere? And is this another fly-by-night scheme? And there are all kinds of things. This time, instead of trying to think your way there, you've decided that you want to be there where there's non-resistance. So you need a path of no resistance for yourself. And your beliefs certainly are not the path of no resistance. Your beliefs are full of resistance. We can't even talk you out of them. So what's the path of least resistance? Well, you could meditate. And when you quiet your mind, you stop thought. And when you stop thought, there's no resistance. And when there's no resistance, the vibrational frequency of you rises. That's why Esther can hear us. That's how Esther met us. She meditated, quieted her mind, her vibration rose, and there we were. Scared the fire out of her. There we were. Her teeth buzzed for an hour. There we were. She was not on a normal basis ready for the vibrational frequency of Abraham. Ideas begin to flow to you. So we want you to know that just meeting with these people was one of those experiences. In other words, you were in a frequency where some of what you're wanting could be satisfied in that way. This is the vision that we want you to hold just for a moment. You're right there, and this is going to be so helpful for you. So you've meditated, and you did it every day for a week or two or three or four, and your vibration now, it's easy for you to just relax and let your vibration rise. And you know that it's happening during meditation because you feel detached. Sometimes you feel like you're floating. You can't tell your nose from your foot. You have that detached sort of feeling. Sometimes you're seeing visual stuff. It doesn't matter. It's different for everyone. So here you are in this detached state, meaning no thought. No thought. You're just focused upon something like the sound of the air conditioner in the room, or maybe a note that you're hearing on some recording. There, a lot of different people are using a lot of different things to focus upon. Esther likes a steady sound. Hear it? Hear it? It's boring. Nothing to think about it. That's not as good as the sound I heard in the last room. You don't think things like that. So you focus on it until you settle down, until your vibration rises and your resistance leaves. So now you're in the receptive mode. And then an idea comes to you. Now, it's not going to be the idea that takes you all the way to the gold mine. It's going to be an idea that feels good when it comes. And you know what it's going to have? It's going to have that quality that you said you're looking for. You're going to feel like moving toward it. It's not going to feel like something you have to push yourself to. It's going to feel like something you want to go do, as unreasonable as it seems. You're going to want to go do it. And don't justify to anybody. It's just something you feel like doing. And if you will do it, then there will be some obvious payoff for you. It's not going to take you all the way to the gold mine. You're still in the pipeline over here. But you're going to begin to get the gist of how this receptive mode leads you to as far as your resistance will allow you to be led. Did you hear that? You will be led as far as your resistance allows you to be led. And in this new, just coming out of meditation, you can go further than you are accustomed to going. And if you go and then you see that you witness or you realize the advantage that you accomplished by quieting your mind and getting the idea, then it happens again and again and again and again and again. It doesn't have to happen in direct conjunction with meditation. You can be driving and an idea will occur to you. When you feel the exhilaration of an idea, follow it. And if you get an idea that comes from somebody else, it's not yours. Your inner being will lead you, and your inner being might very well lead you to the same group of people. We're not trying to get you off that track. We just want you to do it from the inside out, which is what you ask us for. You intuitively know that it must be that way because you're a creator. You've felt yourself inspired in design. You felt it come out of nowhere. You've felt it come from focus, and you know the more you gruel over it, the more you shut down and don't find it. You know when you're rested and when you're fresh, that's when the new idea comes to you, and when you follow it, it's the solution you've been looking for. You understand all of this. You've witnessed it all. You can apply it to anything. Yes?
Right, right. Nice, thank you.
There are gold mines for all of you all over the place. And this is something that we want you to know about your inner being. Your inner being knows where you stand in your physical humanness in relationship to everything that you want to manifest. Your inner being knows where you stand in relationship to everything. And your inner being knows what your path of least resistance is to it. Your inner being knows what beliefs you hold, what beliefs that are in your way, and your inner being doesn't even need you to change those beliefs. Your inner being can guide you even with them. But if you want a path of least resistance, meditation is the key to less and less resistance. So think about it. How would you go about changing beliefs? Stay with us on this thought just for a moment. So let's say you've got many beliefs that hinder you from that. I don't believe that there's that much money for me. If it's that easy, why isn't everybody doing it? Let's say that you've got these beliefs that are in your way, and your inner being knows that you've got those beliefs that are in your way, but your inner being doesn't need you to get rid of those beliefs, and it's a good thing because you can't be talked out of them. Have you ever tried to talk anybody out of something? They just dig in and hold tighter to it. They just argue for it even more. Haven't you noticed that? You do it to yourself too. So you've got these beliefs that are in your way. You can't really get through them, not for long. Maybe you could talk to somebody that makes you believe for a minute, but as soon as they stop talking, you go back pretty much to what you believed before. But now you've decided to meditate every day. 15 or 20 minutes, you manage to quiet your mind. Your vibration rises, you get into the receptive mode, and you feel an idea and you follow it. And then you meditate on another day and your vibration rises, and you feel an idea and you follow it. And then you meditate again and your vibration rises and you receive an idea and you follow it. And before long, what you followed has led to a new experience that defies that old belief. Because words don't teach, it's only life experience that teaches. You're now living something that you didn't believe you could live. You don't need to be talked out of that belief. You just proved it to yourself. You found the evidence of it. You see what we're getting at? The way to bridge those beliefs